My name is Christopher Krovatin. I'm 24 years old. I live in New York. I am a young adult author. I'm the author of 2 novels, Heavy Metal in You and Venomous, which was adapted into the screenplay Deadlocke, which I wrote, and is being adapted into a Dark Horse one-shot comic book by Arvid Nelson and Nick Stakal. Deadlocke is about a young boy in New York City named Locke Vanetti who has bottled up his anger. When he gets angry, it's not simply an emotion that floods through him, it's as though his entire world changes and he becomes the embodiment of this anger, the vessel of this anger. And it's about him breaking through that wall, discovering this, and then realizing that one can't be defined by the harsh parts of them, and trying to learn how to grow into it. Deadlocke is set in New York City. It's very much about being a young person in New York and how a place this epic and this big and this strange and intense can sometimes breed a certain kind of person and a certain kind of emotionality that is not normal, that is over the top. As long as I can remember, I was writing. Writing for me was a lot of the time me being like, do you guys get this? Is it just me? You know, is there something going on here? You know, by writing down these things, I can make people upset or happy or scared. The concept for Venomous of somebody who is sort of karmically, emotionally poisonous was something that I've carried with me for a long time. Sometimes manifested itself in me becoming incredibly angry. I have sort of a long fuse, but the minute I don't escalate in anger, I just go from 0 to furious. I decided that I wanted to get that down because also looking at it, I was like, maybe somebody else knows what I'm talking about. And one day just started writing this thing about a kid on a roof feeling poisonous, and it just immediately happened. It's like I'd been waiting to start this book. Screenplay came about because I was told my work is cinematic. Adaptation of a novel into a screenplay is difficult because a novel is all about the beauty of a collection of words, and a movie is all about what you see. Adapting the novel into the movie was very hard for me. What I had to learn was to see it, understand that it was going to be up there, and you know, no matter how beautiful a word I used to describe something, no one was going to see that. Everyone was going to see the character up there speaking the dialogue. There were times where I was like, screw this, I'm a novelist, not a screenwriter. It was very cool in the understanding of my work as a different animal. I consider the screenplay and the novel at a certain point like different species. The thing about a comic book, though, is that similar to a movie, but a little more difficult than a movie, you have a still image. With a comic book, if you have somebody throwing a punch, you need to have every little bit about that punch worked out because all you're gonna see is this one shot. So the comic book is really about taking, we've got the emotionality of the novel boiled down into the action of the movie, but then boiled down into the image of a comic book. Right now I'm working on my 3rd novel about a family that goes through a pretty horrid scandal, also set in New York. Very much a city-based and a family in New York-based story. A very violent novel and a very rough novel. It's being published by Broadway Books, which is an imprint of Random House, and will hopefully be out sometime next year. So my mom is an author named Anna Quinlan. She wrote a number of bestsellers, including One True Thing, Black and Blue, and Blessings. She is a Pulitzer Prize winner for her work for the New York Times. You know, my mom really taught me that writing is just about being you. It had an effect on me because it taught me that writing was an impulse rather than some sort of highly super practiced craft, you know? It's really easy to be a writer, but it's really hard to stay a writer. The hardest part of writing is sitting down and writing it down. It's really easy to say, I have an idea for a bank robbery novel, and tell somebody, because then when you're done describing the novel you're gonna write and the twist at the end, you've basically written it. Get your ass in the chair. That, I think, is the difference between an aspiring writer and a writer.